Okay, wonderful. Good morning in the US and
Morning.
then for
Hello.
those in Nigeria, good afternoon.
After,
Um,
oh,
yes. In Nigeria, it is 3 p.m. and then in the US,
oh,
in Atlanta, it is 10 a.m. I
okay.
want to welcome you again to our continuation of our Destiny Talk series. We've been off the air for a few weeks, but today we are back and we are here with Miss Katie Lee.
Hello,
And
everybody. Much
yeah,
love.
she has a lot of exuberance. I'm excited to have here today. Katie Lee is a marriage and family therapist. She has a master's in marriage and family therapy, and she is also skilled, and she's had years of experience with expressive writing. One of her areas of socialization is working with people dealing with depression and just emotional loneliness. And today she's going to be taking us on a journey of what loneliness, how we can identify loneliness, what that looks like, what that how that affects our lives, and then how we can use creative writing to manage to help with loneliness. And so I'm excited at what she's going to be teaching and sharing with us today. And I just want to start by sharing a prayer with us. Heavenly Father, I thank you for this morning. I thank you for the lovely people that are here and those that are still coming. And even as we listen and just have a moment with Katie as she takes us through this journey of identifying what loneliness looks like, because sometimes we might not even realize what it looks like and how it impacts our lives and what we can do creatively to get out of it. I pray that each one of us will go away with something that will be life transforming. Thank you, Father, for this time. And in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay,
Amen.
so over to you, Katie. I have given you permission to share your screen, so you can go ahead.
Okay. And I am, hello, everybody. And I am clicking to share. And I don't see my information. Oh, boy. Okay. So let me try again. I'm under share screen. I just saw it. Okay. I think this is it. Okay. I'm going to hit share, but it's not coming up. Oh, let me try again. Stop share. I'm going to share screen. Trust me, I just brought it up. It was there. There we go. All right. Can you all see that?
Yes, we can.
Oh, very, very good. Well, again, I am Katie Lee, and it's such a pleasure to just be in your company. I know you all are very familiar with Dr. Kuyinu, and I have the pleasure of having her in the United States right now, and I am very glad of that. So I'm trying to hold on to her as much as I can. So, but those of you who are in America, this not this 10 a.m., 10:08 or whatever time we have here, but we have also want to say hello to everybody in other parts of the world, which could be around 3 o'clock. Or I'm learning that people are clicking on from various parts of the world. So hello and welcome. Welcome to the Destiny Talk series. And so in this series, I understand that the whole part of it is to welcome better destinies. Am I getting that right?
Mhm.
Um, yes, it's more you're in control of your destiny. And I would think that that's something that you want to go into with your destiny in a healthy manner. And so this topic of loneliness came to me because, and I forgive me, I'm clicking, okay, because, I thought, I'm not really a person, I'm a very much of a connector. And so when I began to be isolated or not be able to get out like I wanted to, I thought, oh my gosh, could I be lonely? And I couldn't understand how that could be. because it wasn't a place that I felt like I'd ever been. But it brought it home to me, and I thought, well, you know, if I can feel some loneliness, maybe not getting the phone calls that I usually get or that I usually make, because everybody is in a different state of mind or place or trying to figure out our new norm. And so I said, well, if I'm feeling this, then maybe other people are feeling it too. So when something bothers any of us enough, then we begin to look for answers, right? We begin to say, okay, what's wrong with me? And usually we blame ourselves. And so a lot of time it's not because something is just wrong with you. But I began to study a little bit more about what is isolation, what is loneliness. And as I came across words like binge eating and yawning, these could be signs of loneliness. And I said, oh, you're kidding. I didn't really believe it. But I'm going to share a few things, and we only have about 15 minutes together. I'm going to share some really exciting information that I hope will prompt you to want to attend some of the workshops that I do that gives you actual tools to manage these type of things, such as loneliness. So I'm going to go down a little bit, and I'll hopefully everything can be seen on the screen. What is the yawning? You know, it sounds like it's something very normal. We've all done it before. It's an involuntary process of opening the mouth and breathing in deeply. Okay, excuse me. It's a natural response to being tired or sleepy or being fatigued. And so we know about this process. We've all gone through it, and it seemed to be okay. But in my studies, I have found that it could be signs of loneliness, and get this, more. And the more is what really got me. Excuse me. Excessive yawning occurs more than once per minute. So you're like, okay, well, you know, I yawn when I'm tired, or maybe I'm bored at work. Well, if you do it excessively, and I think I've seen that in my life sometimes, and I think, gosh, why am I yawning? I just woke up, or I've been rested all day. So you see, there are underlying reasons. Now, loneliness, I think I have the wrong screen up. Let me just go back a little bit and even talk from my notes, because this is good stuff. Now, yawning could be an underlying medical problem. Certain conditions can cause a medical problem, such as vasovagal reaction. And you think, what is that? Because that's what I said, which results in excessive yawning. Now, during this reaction, there is an increase in the vagus nerve, and it supplies the heart and the lungs and the upper digestion tract. Didn't know that, right? The nerve runs from the brain to the throat to the abdomen. The heart rate and blood pressure drops. The reaction can indicate a sleep disorder or a serious condition. That was scary to hear about. Now, what about yawning and loneliness? Well, remember, loneliness is a state of distress. And I'll see if I can find it on my screen here. It is a state of distress. So it is not yet diagnosed as a type of mental or emotional disorder. And we said that some loneliness is a normal process, yes, but you are in a state of distress. So you have to ask yourself, well, what caused this state of distress? Something caused it. So think about cause and effect. And you see me clicking here because I'm trying to get on the right screen, but we're going to keep going. So what about yearning and loneliness, this state of distress? Now, this loneliness is really caused by a feeling of social isolation. All right. And we said it could be normal. We said it could be an underlying disease. It could be some type of medical problems. When feelings become excessive, this is the word, this is the key word, all consuming, and it interferes with daily living, then it is uncomfortable. And that's when we know that there is a problem. I want to tell you, if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat. That's okay. We'll hopefully get to that. Now let's talk about, you say, well, Katie Lee, I'm not lonely, but I feel alone. Is that different? Alone is being alone, being with oneself, by oneself. But this whole loneliness thing, it really is our perception of our situation. It is a state of uncomfortableness, is what I call it. And then you go and you may ask, well, loneliness and eating, what's the difference about that? Well, what about yawning and loneliness, state of distress? We said that, caused by feelings of social isolation. Loneliness can be lonely. We're kind of recapping now. It can be an indicator of underlying diseases. When feelings become excessive, all-consuming, and interfere with daily living, then it's uncomfortable. Now, what about loneliness and binge eating? Now, millions of people sit with feelings of loneliness and boredness and being sad, even especially late at night, are unsure how to feel better. Now, one source says this, and I like this: loneliness is the worst of all the feelings. And the weird thing is, it's not that easy to solve. But I kind of disagree with that part. It may not be easy, but it is possible. It's more about the heart, you know? I say it's more about your state of mind too, your heart, than the proximity. And I add also, it's more about hurt unmanaged. That's what I believe that loneliness actually is. Now, so many of us know about this, and we may not have ever done it as far as binge eating, or maybe we've done it one time in our lives, so it's no big deal. And you catch yourself and go, okay, I don't want to eat like that. But what if you're always kind of overeating and you're doing quickly, just got to get the food in there? All right. So that could be leading to some types of disorder actually. But consuming large quantities of food very quickly, even when not hungry, even to the point of discomfort, it can negatively impact our health. So we see there is a need to control loneliness because it's a state of distress. There is a need to control binge eating because it can cause serious health issues in our lives. And so what we want to always find is cause and effect, but then we want to find solutions. All right. And so in my workshops, we talk about what specifically is binge eating. We talk about how also to find healthy alternative. And a lot of time it's what we're eating too that makes an impact. But overeating in this case is what we're saying that can cause very much health problems. So, but finding solution is really the main thing. So we talked about how these different, did I really explain that the nerves in our body, let me see if I can find that. When we're overeating and when we are also actually not only overeating, but we are also in a state of loneliness, it affects our bodies. It can cause high blood pressure, low blood pressure. It can cause all kinds of things to go on with our hearts and our minds and our souls. And so we always want to find a solution. So some authorities say that loneliness is prevalent around the globe and among many populations, particularly the adult population, and probably I would say the elderly population as well, especially as some are confined to, in America particularly, nursing homes or away from their families, but all over the world, this is happening. And so this whole idea of loneliness can affect many age groups. And I always say this, parents, watch teenagers, because children do not have the vocabulary to say, I'm lonely, because they don't fully understand the impact. And they'll say things like, I'm bored. And so we automatically think that, maybe they need some type of extracurricular activity. That could be true. However, there could be an underlying reason for the loneliness. And that's what we're talking about today. Or we sometimes we say things that our boys, that they eat too much, but actually studies have shown that boys need a lot more vitamins, a lot more nutrition, a lot more what I call solid foods. To me, solid food is food you get out of your garden if you have one, or from the farmer's market, or places that have as much naturalness as possible. And so this is really what the teens need in their bodies. And sometimes they're not getting that. I know that I try to avoid the fast food aspect, because that doesn't fill up children. It doesn't really fill us up. So then they begin to binge. My point is that even teenagers can binge eat and not know it's binging. So it will be wisdom for us as the caregivers, as parents, as counselors, to encourage the families to look into, is it binging? Are they really lonely? Is there an underlying physical condition going on? These are questions that we want to ask ourselves if we have any symptoms of loneliness, feeling isolated, feeling uncomfortable, emotionally also uncomfortable, not knowing what to do with ourselves. So we want to always ask those questions. What is it that people are feeling? Did you know that words like shame and sadness and melancholy and frustration, all of these are emotional aspects of loneliness? You say, well, shame, I don't feel any shame. Sadness, I don't feel any sadness. I don't feel any melancholy. And frustration, well, good. But there may be people around you who might. And sometimes, because we think loneliness is so normal, we do not explore. And so what I'm here today is because we care about our destiny, we care about what happens to our lives. We want to be the best that we can be. We want to focus on the future to come, yes, but guess what? We cannot get to the future until we manage what? We have to manage today. And also, sometimes we can't manage today until we deal with our past. Now, that's an area that we don't really like to go into much, because there are a lot of questions sometimes about our past, about sometimes we want to just brush it off. Okay, for instance, say like if you, I can say the Afghanistan war, I could say Vietnam War. All right, so if you were a person who went and served in the military, all right, and thank you for serving. People who served in the military may come home and everything seems to be okay. Back with the family, functioning, seem to be okay. But in actuality, that past, the trauma that you may have gone through, may have experienced, can affect who you are in the present. And so what do? A lot of time we may resort to binge eating, and men, we're talking to you as well. Not just the teen, not just the little kids who are 9 and 6. They can binge eat too, and not to women. We're talking to the whole family. My desire is to help the entire family. That is why I majored in marriage and family therapy. So now I have this passion, to do whatever little that I can to help families, to help married people, to help singles, because I really believe that before you get into a relationship, you want to be made whole. You want to have an idea of what your destiny is, not reaching to someone else to tell you what the destiny is, but what is it? Who are you? So being healthy in these areas. So say if you were in a traumatic situation and you've not really went back to find out what's going on with you, because everybody says, okay, you're welcome home, you're doing great, or you'll be fine, or we'll just pray over you, or just go to church or sing a song, that kind of thing, you'll be fine. You know what? We got to dig deeper. Study to show yourself approved. I mean, even the word of God says that we are made whole. We can be made whole. And also we believe in healing. Well, I firmly believe that healing comes in many aspects: controlling our binging, understanding what loneliness is, you know, taking our medication. It's not a bad word. I mean, after all, we will all admit, if we'll be honest, if we're honest, that if our heads hurt enough, we are going to do something about it. Say we can't get to the doctor, all right, and get some more medication. We're going to go in there and find an aspirin, Advil, whatever. And I do remember time, I'll be honest with you, when I didn't take any of that stuff. I really didn't. But you know, life changed. Trauma comes, loneliness happened. I'm not saying that's the solution. I'm saying all of these side effects of what we might be going through, the psychological, the emotional, the person who is suffering from PTSD, things of the past that you haven't dealt with, that are affecting your present, that can affect, guess what, your destiny. We're going to grab something. So, but the reason that we do these series is so that you can find healthy aspects. We don't have to eat the whole burger, even though I had a burger yesterday. But that'll be the only burger that I'll have for until maybe the end of the summer. I had a milkshake last Sunday. I really did. But I'm not a milkshakey person, but it sure was good from Smoothie King here in America. I think Smoothie King and maybe international. It was so good. But can I have that every week? No. Now, so an example, if I got the burger today, I'm going to have it Saturday, Sunday, more meat, blunk, 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 plus more of the smoothie. And then I'm eating it at night. Maybe I ordered one. I'm going to take one home. Okay. Now, there you go. We're getting into the binge eating. Hello. So you see, you can manage that. You can just say a half a burger, or you might want to, I think chicken may digest a little bit better, but, or maybe a veggie sandwich. Or I know some people who will have a sandwich and no bread. And when they order from a health food store or a fast food store, people think they're crazy. So I want to have a burger. I don't want any bread. Oh, it throws the whole industry off. We've got to put bread on it. No, what I'm saying to you is let's take control of our destiny. Attend these Destiny Talk series. We're in a time now where we can take time to attend workshops and learn more and be more. And that is why I'm here today, to just encourage us to be our very best self. Now remember, loneliness is manageable. It's not exactly a pandemic yet, but it is an epidemic. It has been called by the authorities, those who are in the know, who does all the study and everything. And we don't have to trust everything they say because we got good common sense, and thank God we have prayer. But we can learn from what they're saying. They're saying it is a major health problem. It's a major health problem. So that's why we want to be the best that we can be. So I hope that you would consider attending some of my workshops, because I can tell you some self-care things to do, but also I have found a self-therapy aspect. I call it is an expressive word process that I can train you on how to use this to deal with loneliness, to deal with other major emotional problems. So I thank you for listening, and thank you for this time. I am Katie Lee.
Wonderful. So, Katie Lee, thank you so much. And I'm going to be asking you just to take us in a little demonstration. But before I ask you to take us in a little demonstration of what is expressive writing, you mean by this expressive writing. You've talked about loneliness, and you've talked about the fact that it is our world today is becoming more of an issue, especially for us, even you know,
Here,
in
yeah.
Nigeria. I mean, it has been a major issue in the US. Depression has gone on, the rise. You have a lot of people on antidepressants, and we in our culture in Nigeria, it wasn't, such a major, it wasn't as major as you have it in the US, but it's now becoming so. And part of it is because of our new kind of lifestyle, where we have, we find ourselves looking, just everything about life is work, school, work home, and we are not really having interaction and relating with people. And for some of us, it is not easy to manage, in that, people have to work, people have to go to school.
Sure.
And so, but that circle, it's almost like as we continue that circle, eventually, it's almost like we are burning our candles on both ends. So eventually the candle burns out, and we become, emotionally desolate and just dead, because we've been burning the candles. I use the example of
inside the market.
Uche, can you mute yourself, please? Okay. So we have a situation where we have some chemicals in our bodies that helps us to manage stress.
Oh, yes.
And we call those chemicals neurotransmitters. We have them serotonin, dopamine. And, as we are constantly working, we are using those chemicals, and almost like we get to a point where we are using more than we are producing, because we are constantly fight and flight. And we get to a point where we completely deplete them, and they are not there anymore. They are gone. We are not producing enough. Serotonin is the one that helps us to rest and to be calm. Dopamine keeps us excited. Endorphins helps us with pain management. And so what I'm hearing you saying is, when we have depleted all of this because of our state of mind, expressive writing, actually helps us to bring back some of those neurotransmitters. It helps us to come back into a state of peace of mind. Helps us to be able to also bring out, because you said something powerful, that sometimes we need to dig deeper and find out what is really going on. Because some of us, the reason why we are being eaten, just like you said, the reason why, I'll give you an example of of what happened to me once. Some of the reason why we are binge eating, is because of, we are not being able to manage certain emotional situations that can eventually lead into loneliness. And so when we find ourselves, and I want to throw it out there, not just binge eating, but binge drinking. Some of us can drink 5 bottles of soft drink in a day. So please, it's not about just binge eating, but binge drinking, binge watching. Some of us can watch TV for 10 hours. So it's not just eating, binging. Let's just use the word binge. We can binge. Some of us can be in front of video game, for hours. Some of us can be in front of TV for hours. Some of us can just be chatting nonstop for hours. And so when we find ourselves binging, overdoing certain things, that tells us that something is going on, and
Absolutely.
I remember an experience, and maybe I don't know if you have a certain experience that you might share also. I remember an experience where years back, I was in a class, working with some group of people, and they didn't do what I wanted them to do. They really, really upset me. And it was the Bible study class. They really, really upset me. And I ended the class. And because I was so upset, that was the first time I knew what I experienced binging. I didn't know before then. Because I was so upset, I left the class, and beside the church, there was a supermarket, there was like a shopping complex. Katie, I entered 5 shops in the shopping complex within 30 minutes. I went to the first one, I bought meat pie. I went to the second one, I bought ice cream. I went into the third one, I bought roasted meat. I went into the fourth one. And then by the time I was done, I had my hand full of food. And I looked up and I said, what have I done? And that was the ultimate of binging. It was binging because I was upset. I felt lonely. I felt alone. I felt abandoned by the group. I felt, I didn't feel accepted. And so I just went and so I understand what you are saying. And that is why this is powerful. That any of us, we binge on different things. We binge on what we like. I like food. So I binge on food. I would say there was another time I like being real. And that is why this Destiny Talk series is interesting, because I am very real, when I talk to people about what is going on. There was another time I was so stressed with schoolwork. My hair was dropping out. I shared this before. I was so stressed up. And then one day I just sat down. I was tired. And I just sat down, and there was this Chinese movie, 18th century or before, long ago movie. And I sat down and I watched it from maybe 7 p.m. till 5 a.m. the next day, non-stop. And that was binging because I was stressed. I was tired. I was lonely. I was feeling alone. And so when we find ourselves doing things like that, it's, as I said, it can be different forms. We need to, as you are saying, we need to take a step back and say something is going on inside me. And so confronting what is going on. So maybe you want to tell us a bit, or maybe give us an experience of how we can use creative writing.
Absolutely.
To help.
Absolutely.
And I know that you are going to, you are having some workshops that you are going to really take us through how to really fully do this. But can you give us a little tip of the iceberg, please?
I sure can. And I actually have a workshop this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. And it's Creative Power Tools to Emotional Wellness, which we also include the expressive writing. Well, first of all, thank you for those very real and colorful illustrations. And that's what it's all about nowadays, is that we have to be transparent. If we want our families to be well, we have to be transparent with parameters with our children. We don't have to go and tell our kids we did marijuana at 13, 14 or 18, but we have to help them to understand that we've gone through some processes to get to this place where we are, and that we did not do it alone. And that not only did we pray, we didn't just pray and believe and clap our hands and worship God, or when we did that, we allowed God to infiltrate to us a solution, because that's really how I came about the expressive writing. Well, I've always been a writer, never been a bestseller, but I'm finding that if we would take a piece of paper, and here is an illustration. First of all, let me show you what expressive writing is, but get a piece of paper, number it from 1 to 10 for right now. We're going to do a brief exercise, or you can just think about it in your head, and you can do this later, okay? So what is expressive writing? A form of therapy where you, the individual, again, writes about the past, the present, and emotional experiences, traumatic experiences. And the key is that the writer focus on feelings and emotions rather than describing the events and facts. Okay, because when we begin to describe the events and facts, we get mixed up. If I start to describe my life as a child, which I didn't know that now I am a child of, I'm an adult child of alcoholics. But as a child, I didn't know I was. I thought this is how everybody lives. Okay, and I didn't know until I was full, as they say, fully grown, and life was looking good. You know, in your mind, especially being younger, you feel like you have a perfect husband, a perfect 3 kids, and perfect 3 cats. And you got a house with a stove and a refrigerator and whatever, you're indoors. So what can be more perfect than that? Then this is the key. Understand this. Then I'm in a perfect church with all great sisters and brothers and prayer warriors, you know, and my pastor is next to God. So what in the world could be wrong with you, Katie Lee? Well, until I start to deal with my individual self and realize that there are problems here, I wasn't okay. So I began to write. I've always written, even as a child, I wrote. I didn't know what I was doing, you know, just, you know, mad with your mama, but you couldn't tell her, and you just go, right, I'm mad with you, but you couldn't put her name on there, you know, but I was never mad with my mom. I was afraid to be mad with my mom or my daddy. But I have learned that you can take a pen and a paper, and this is what I tell my clients. This is what I told my son. So you're mad with me, you're upset with me, you don't like what I say, I dare you to write about it. And if we think about some of the most amazing books that we've ever read, most amazing movies we've ever seen, it came out of our frustration, our loneliness, our binge eating. And then, but we decided to put it into an art form. And that's what my workshops always hint on, is that how can you take this bad thing and turn it into creativity? People do it every day. You know, I'm not a big fan of Bob Marley. I respect Bob Marley. I don't know even one song, but today I was thinking about what a genius. He was able to put some of his frustrations or his observation into a lasting music form that we may not know or follow or understand, but it has impacted the entire world and perhaps the entire universe. So with your expressive writing exercise that we're going to do briefly right now, you have taken a piece of paper and you got it number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, with expressive writing, I like the way, I think it's Penny Baker who created this particular art form, expressive writing. I wished I had created it. So you now want to write down quickly. Now, don't try to be organized and methodical. This is what gets us in trouble. And sometimes that word can be, don't try to be perfect. Okay. Just allow yourself the nerves we talked about before. Okay. Just write down what you're feeling. I'm feeling sad. I'm confused. I don't understand. Just make that into one word. Conflict. Anger. Maybe somebody on here may feel happy. Put that on there too. That's okay. Mad. Disappointed. I feel loved. What else do you feel? Lonely. Sad. Again, angry. Now, you may not have completed it, but let me tell you this process because you can do this. Most likely you have 2 words on there that are very, very similar, all right? Somehow related. Take those 2 words, and if you don't have them, that's okay. Take the word that stands out to you most, that really describes your day. Like today, I feel busy. I feel actually that I have to do a good job. So I'm stressed. And then I feel wondering, like, okay, mystified. And so I will bring that one word into the center. Maybe you feel sad. Maybe you're confused. Put it in the center. All right. Now, this is the fun part. You have identified some of your feelings, because we used to do 1 through 20, and boy, do you get a lot of information. Okay. You've identified some feelings, some emotions, and what I call in my workshop, the who, what, where, why. Because in expressive writing, you are going to answer that. Take that one word, say, I'm sad. Why? Don't get too righty. Just 1 or 2 things. Just think about it. Who caused me to feel this way? It was probably you, but you may not be able to say that right now. So you can blame John Doe. When did this happen? Where did it happen? And if you do this exercise, let's just say if you do it one time a day, twice a day, say you're going to take 3 days and you're going to do this process, right? On the first day, by the time you get through doing this, you're going to begin to identify why you feel this way, where it happened, who, what, when, how it happened. And maybe you're brave enough and honest enough to say, I'm disappointed, I would say, in my perfect parents. They were perfect to me. Why are you disappointed, Katie? When did this happen? When did you start feeling this? When I got to be 25, where did this take place? In the Florida coast. Did they seem perfect to you? Yes. But now at 25, I'm disappointed. So, dear mom, I love you much, but I do not like the fact that you did not attend my debutante ball. Because why? Unfortunately, my perfect mother, who was gorgeous, beautiful, but my perfect mother was an alcoholic. So that's why you could not attend the debutante ball with me and daddy. But mom didn't have any support groups. Mom did not have destiny talk groups. Hello. Mom did not have workshops, but we do. And that's why you have a Dr. Kuyinu. That's why you have a Katie Lee. That's why you have you. Because you've gone through the processes and you can say, well, Katie Lee, I've never really even gone to counseling. Cool. I'm going to teach you how to use expressive writing to be your own self-therapist.
Wow. Katie Lee, that is a powerful. As you were, I'm getting so caught up in what you're saying, and I'm like, I need to be at this workshop. And on Saturday, Katie Lee has a workshop, and I felt that this was a good platform for us to see, what she has to offer. I already have goose pimples all over me as to just the possibility of the things that you'll be able to work on. And as she shared with us about her journey, about, how on the outside, everything looked normal. She had a good home, happy husband, happy home, lovely children, a good church, but she was not happy. She was lonely inside. And some of you are there, you have, everything might look like, I don't really have an external problem, but why am I feeling this way? For many of us, is as a result, hold on, let me change this. For many of us, it's as a result of where we are coming from. Hold on, let me change the view. I have it. Many of us, it's as a result of where we are coming from. And the fact that we have baggage. We keep talking about baggage. We have baggage. We have things that we have not let go of, we have not dealt with, things that we're still angry about, that we don't even realize that we are angry about. Like Katie Lee was like, I did not realize I was angry with my mother. You know, I wasn't allowed to be angry with her,
Right.
but because I didn't deal with that anger, I didn't deal with the fact that she was not there for the most important, you know, ceremony of my life. She was not there because she was an alcoholic. And, you know, I was not happy. I remember at a workshop, I told you about someone that, you know, did not realize that the reason why she was angry was because of something that happened to her as a child. And throughout her life, that anger affected her. The same way, you know, many things are affecting us today, you know, that we are not even conscious about. And expressive writing is, she says, it allows you to be your own therapist.
Yes.
You will not be able to afford 10 therapy sessions, but you can come to this workshop to learn how to use, you know, how to pull out what is inside. You know, I remember that one of the things I used to do was dawdle, was write poems. You know, when I have things, when I have things on the inside, you know, I start drawing, just drawing it, and I pull it out. Or I start writing words. And so Katie Lee is there to, the good thing is that not only is she an expressive writer, is she a writer, she's a therapist. So, so she will help us, you know, work on this issue, bring them out, and then therapeutically, you work on them. Thank you so much for that. The link, Tokwe, do we have the link for registration for the next workshop? And then she's actually giving us a coupon that gives us about, if we're in Nigeria, about 50% off.
Yes.
Our next workshop, so that you can have an experience. And so if you want the coupon, reach out to us and say, can I have the coupon? Our workshops are normally $35 for the workshop. And then she has a coupon that she's giving us, you know, being part of this, she's giving us a 50% off coupon. And, and, you know, you can also share it with people that you know that can benefit from this experience. Thank you so much, Katie, for all you do.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
For doing what you do, and for partnering with Destiny Talk series, and for giving us this gift of the discount, so that we can come in and experience self-therapy through expressive writing at your workshop. Anybody, before we finish and we give the remaining announcement, feedback from anybody, anybody have a question, a feedback? I hope you were able to do the little assignment she asked you to do. Anybody wants to give me a feedback on what they wrote down? And you can type, you can actually type, or you can raise your hand and I can allow you to talk, or you can type. Any question, anybody, you know, when she asks you to write 10 things down, can you type for me some of the things you yourself writing down? Let's start with that. Let's be type it interactive. Can you type some of the things you actually wrote down?
Well, you know,
Just
Dr.
type it. We can type it in the chat. Hello?
Dr. Kuyinu?
Yes?
I think this is Katie. I think that it does take time. to realize what it is. I'm sorry, ma'am, I
Okay.
can't relate.
Okay, then. Well, it does take time, and but if you did write anything down, if you did, just type it in. You don't have to just say this is what I type this down. But I mean, if you want to, as I said, you want to explore this further, please feel free to request coupon. And yes, that is the workshop information has been posted, and you can request for the coupon. Yes, you have it with the coupon. Thank you, Tope. So that link takes you with the coupon, and the coupon there, and for the registration. Also, as we round up, I want to remind you that we have an event coming up. Let me quickly share that. Let me share my screen. I'm sharing the wrong screen, sorry. Okay, so let me quickly share this. For some of you, if you remember, we had Daylin come to talk to us about joint mobility. And as a result of that, we are going to be starting a Saturday joint mobility classes. So.
Same for your hips. Make some circles with your hip. Just move it around. Okay, you can do 5 to 10 circles to the right and vice versa to the left. Okay, which are here. What I always do when you are not used to this type of movements, it's new for you. I prefer you to have a chair or something close to you where you can just hold it and be aware, like in case you need it. Okay, because what I will ask you is like just move back and forth your leg. This is just moving, giving some ranges of motion to your hip joint, which is super important. You can make circles left or right, just vice versa, or just go side to side. Okay, just side to side. You can do this 5 to 10 times, and do it. Remember, do this bilateral because that is going to help to avoid like those muscle imbalance. Okay, just pretending to lift up your. These are called high knees. You maybe have heard about this. People like they are like high performance or these athletes, they will do it like jumping, but my purpose is not for you to jump, it's for you to create that mobility, to feel like, okay, yes, I can touch my knees. If you cannot touch your knees, it's fine. Just hold yourself on a chair or something and just do it unilateral. Do it unilateral, okay? With one hand only. So you feel like you have this support. Okay, we will do some joint mobility, but we also want to strengthen the muscles. Why? Because as I said before, as nature, our body tends to come forward as we age, and even you, like in younger generation, people population, you will see like they are like this. Okay, so what we are trying to do is strengthening the muscle of the back, of your back. So we normally use, since we are in a gym facilities at the school, we have these elastic bands. And what we do is like, okay, let's wrap around and let's work. These are called W's. So it's just doing this. Wow.
Wonderful. So let me stop sharing that. We are going to have, hold on.
The 2021 Toyota Corolla with Alexa. It can help you find a bathroom when you need it.
So we are going to have, sorry, let me go back. Let me stop sharing this. Awesome. We have Daylin. We had that talk, so you can you can watch it, in which she demonstrates. Is actually, you have a lot of exercises for younger people, but we are looking at older people. As we age, we need joint mobility. We need to move our bodies, especially with sitting at home, working online. And so we are going to be starting a session soon, within the next 1 month. And if you are interested, send us, send a message to say, can you send me the registration form, to join in. It is, you can join in, anybody can join in. So we just want to make sure that, you ask, you send in, you request for a form to join. So it's part of Destiny Talk series. And so if you want to be part of the joint movement, is to help move joints so that all your joints are moving, and you are healthy and don't develop things that will make your life difficult and miserable. And then finally, I want to encourage you again that this Destiny Talk series require is a volunteer event. And so if you desire to partner with us and to support what we are doing, we have quite a number of projects that we are working on, and you will hear more about it. Please, you are welcome to be a partner and to support us. This is the information for So as that is playing, I will look at the other chat. What else I have on the chat? What other questions I have? Do I have any other questions? Okay. Okay, so that is all for today. Thank you so much. Anybody have any comment before we go off the air? We are done for today. Anybody has any comment before we go off? We want to say thank you to Katie Lee. Any feedback from you guys? I hope this information was helpful for those that were there from the beginning. Can I have something? Can I hear something from you? Okay, so everyone, bye. This has been a presentation again of Destiny Talk series, and we look forward to seeing you at doing our next talk. God bless you, and bye-bye.